we are building this Agentic framework, which has three tools for now. Uh, it has a Google search tool, Hacker News tool, and Hacker News search tool and Python REPL tool. If I run the agent, then it will ask us a question. We have to prompt the question here. So if I ask it a question for Google search, let's say, what is the weather in Delhi right now? So it will take the question, it will search on Google search, and it will tell me that it's 53 degree Fahrenheit sitting like hourly weather observation Google search, and final answer it's 57 degree Fahrenheit with hazy clouds. Now if I again ask it a question about, say, if I want to, let's say, ask something about Hacker News, what's the top news on Hacker News today? So it will again create a thought, action, input, observation, and then repeat it n times. So it does that. Then final answer is top news on Hacker News today includes updates on Eufola, Pivot Actors, Artemis, and Mizu.js, as well as discussion on the H1B program and the diversity in the tech industries. Okay, cool enough. Now we'll test. Give me Python code for a password generator. Let's test this. Then again search for Python code. Okay, it actually searched for an article for me in this one, which will generate passwords, random password using Python. So it's good enough. Like it identified by itself that it doesn't need to produce the code by itself and execute it. Python REPL tool, what it does is it not only produces the code, it will run the code on my machine. So that is an authentication layer to check the code and it's not wrong, which we don't get in SOTA LLMs. Now we are also planning to add some more tools to it, one of which is a documentation generator. So here is doc from URL. So basically what it does is that when I run this file doc from a URL, then here it will ask me, here it will ask me to enter the URL of a GitHub repository. So I'll go here, and if I just pick up a repo, let's say some small repo, obviously. Let's say I pick this repo. I got this URL, I just input its URL, I enter, and it will generate a documentation for this URL, documentation1.html. So first it created a .txt file, which is here, and then it created an HTML file documentation. Now if we go in the, and if we open this HTML file, then you can see that there will be a good documentation for the project. So like the GitHub looks like this. It read this readme file and produced this like fairly looking good documentation. Now we also have doc from zip. So doc from zip, what it does is that it will read the code also. Like you just download the zip file from here for the repo, and you feed it into this file doc from zip, and what it does is basically it will read every file and then produce the same kind of a documentation. It will be a much more detailed documentation because it could be reading the code also. But problem here is that we are using an online we are using Grok basically for our LLM support, and for Grok is like a service only, so we are not running LLMs locally. So we if we input a zip file, we usually hit a rate limit of input tokens. So I cannot show the demo for zip file right now, but we have tried it. Then it's the chat with DB tool. So basically chatting with text to SQL and NoSQL. If I run this Python text to SQL dot not text to SQL, it's SQL to insight. Like here you see it's SQL to insight. Yeah, it's SQL to insight dot py. Sorry, Python SQL to insight dot py. So here it'll ask me a query. So here is a small database of 3 tables with customers, software and sales. So if I ask it what's the total amount of sales, so it will give me that total amount. So sale is $4,049.85, and then it also gave me an insight that this indicates that sales have generated a small to moderate revenue. It's basically if you have a SQL database, so you can connect this agent, like connect this tool, and then agent can talk to your database and can give you insights on that, like basically data analysis with the help of agent. We have also done it with text to NoSQL, but we have some problems in text to NoSQL. Basically, there is like it give us the query to execute, because for text to NoSQL we have created the database in the MongoDB. Here is the database, software sales database, and what it does is it generates a Python code which would be executed. So where we are facing problem right now is in the execution of code. Here in this execute NoSQL to query, if I show you, we'll go cd text to NoSQL. Sorry, first we have to get out from here, and then we have to text to NoSQL, and then we'll go for Python NoSQL to insight. And it will also ask us for the query. So again, I'll ask the same question which I asked above, that what's the total amount of sales. So what we'll see is that it will generate the code, but would not be able to execute the query. So this is the problem we are still debugging on. This is the code which it executed. Here is the code, this one. It's correct code. If you execute it in Python file individually, it will run and it will give you the answer, similar answer to the above one, because databases are same in NoSQL also. So that's one more approach. And third approach in chat with DB was text to NoSQL with embeddings, in which we are creating embeddings of this Mongo database and then putting it onto Qtrend, where embeddings are stored, and then we are using then we are retrieving it. Then we are like giving a query, and then that query would be converted into embeddings, and then embedding cosine similarity would happen, and then you will get a insight back. So that is also approach for text to NoSQL. Also, we can do it for text to SQL, but for text to SQL, I think straight up approach is much more reliable. So yeah, this is our project for now. We are also working on 2 more tools, which are basically your email response generator, and then we also have a job search agent. So those 2 tools we are still working on, and these 3 tools are working with the agent. Other tools are working without the agent. Soon we will be adding those tools with the agent also. Thanks.